What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. Road to 300 subscribers, of course. We keep going every day, but I was looking at the stats, not the stats, but on Twitter, and I was just scrolling, and I seen that De'Aaron Fox is looking at his King situation and with an open mind. And right now, they're on a 4-game losing streak, and I really don't see anything to change with the Sacramento Kings team. They're basically, when I watched the game this season, it's basically De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, and DeMar DeRozan ISOs. And when that shit doesn't work, they have no other offense. When they could just give it to Sabonis and let him run the floor, but they don't do that a lot of times. But De'Aaron has been one of the best point guards in the league for a while, and often he's disrespected because of his team or what's around him. Obviously, 2 years ago, the Kings finally ended their playoff drought. But now, this season, they don't look good. They don't look like a playoff team at all. And the addition of DeMar DeRozan isn't doing anything like they hoped it to be, from a step up from Harrison Barnes to DeMar DeRozan. And when in reality, it looks like a huge downgrade. But in this video, we're going to be looking at De'Aaron Fox's career and seeing what's happening. But De'Aaron has been improving ever since his rookie season. He was drafted 5th to Sacramento, has been loyal. In the 2017-2018 season, De'Aaron averaged 11.5 points per game, basically 2 rebounds and 4.5 assists. And these seasons, his early seasons, he was being compared a lot to Lonzo, because Lonzo was obviously the 3rd pick, De'Aaron was the 5th pick. And Lakers fans saying they regret not picking De'Aaron Fox, when reality, Magic was sold on Lonzo from day one, so there was no way that De'Aaron was going to end up in LA. He ended up in Sacramento. He was the future of the franchise, and it was really good. And in the second season, he improved tremendously. He averaged 17 points per game, 4 rebounds and 7 assists. His averages improved from across the board, except for his rebounding, obviously, because he's a guard. And this is De'Aaron with the long hair. I remember long hair De'Aaron. It was swaggy. It was cool. He was fast. Right now, to this day, he slowed down his game a little bit. He shows some speed and some spurts, but back then, it was really old speed. And he was Ja Morant before Ja Morant. He was punches. He was not taking as many jump shots as he does now, because obviously he's gotten better at his mid-range game and his three-point game, so he doesn't really feel the need to drive anymore. But back then, he was a speedster. He was going straight to that rim. But in his 3rd season, in the 2019-2020 season, De'Aaron averaged 21 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. And this was the season he was becoming one of the most underrated players in the league. Just because the Kings were terrible and they couldn't do anything, they weren't good, doesn't mean that De'Aaron was not an all-star caliber player. And he showed that in the next season, when he averaged 25 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. When he played alongside, I'm not mistaken, when he played with Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, this was Tyrese Halliburton's rookie year. And they were both starting, and then they both played good together. They obviously broke up that duo for Sabonis, which we're going to get into. But they had to make the choice between De'Aaron and Halliburton. And people saying the Kings made the wrong choice because Halliburton looked great as a second-year player, and him coming off of a great rookie season, and he had 37 the game before. I don't know if y'all remember, De'Aaron was out at that time. In my opinion, that was a great trade, because I knew that De'Aaron was better than Tyrese Halliburton at the time, and he was going to be in the future. And right now, in my opinion, De'Aaron is better than Hallie right now. But I'll save that for another day. In the 2022-2023 season, De'Aaron averaged 25 points per game, 4 rebounds, In the 21-22 season, he averaged 23 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. And this is when they traded Halliburton, and the addition of Sabonis in the trade deadline, they didn't show it this season. They had to get a new coach. They got Mike Brown. And the next season, 2022-2023, when they broke their playoff drought, he averaged 25 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. And he was the best player on this team by far. I don't know why people think Sabonis was the best player on this team. he was being marketed as the best player on the Sacramento Kings. In my opinion, it didn't really make sense because I saw it from up close because I was watching the Kings this season. I was a Kings fan this season. I was rooting for them because I saw the potential that they had in the first 10 games, and you looked that good. They obviously lost in Game 7 to the Warriors. They could have won that game, but Stephen Curry happened, and they lost to one of the greatest players to ever play the sport. But in the 2023-2024 season, he averaged basically 26.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. And they missed the playoffs this season. They went to the play-in. It's a down year for them. They was expected to make the playoffs after a great season last year, and they tried to make improvements this offseason. It didn't obviously work, or it's not working so far. I don't know what's to happen in the future, but right now De'Aaron's averaging 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, and it's not like it's his fault. I wouldn't blame it on him. It's just they're a bad team. I wouldn't even say bad team because it's a good roster. It's just they don't play together. They don't play like a team. Right now they're 13-17. The standings could improve. They could go on a 5-game winning streak after they just lost 4 games in a row. You never know in the NBA. But last game against the Pacers, which they lost by 20-25, he had 23, 5, and 7. When they lost to the Lakers the day before, he had 31, 5, and 7. The game before, 12-19, he had 26, 3, and 5. 12-16, he had 29, 5, and 7. And he also dropped 50 points this season. He's one of the players that dropped 50 points. He was on the video that I made about all the 50-point games. Go check that out if you want. But where would y'all rank De'Aaron? I wouldn't say he's a top 5 point guard, but I'd say he's definitely in that top 8 because what he's doing, he's one of the best clutch players in the league. He's tremendously improved every season, and if I wanted to compare him to a player right now, I would probably compare him to Trae Young. Even though I would say Trae Young has the better. I wouldn't say because the Kings have a better roster. Don't get me wrong, but the Hawks play more team basketball, if that makes sense, because they try to get their teammates involved. There's not just ISOs going around the court, or it's not just here, you take the ball, go take them, go get a bucket, nigga. It's just Trae Young orchestrates, Jalen Johnson on the perimeter or in the low post, Dyson Daniels playing defense, and the Kings just don't have that. But let me know how y'all feel about De'Aaron Fox. Subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. I got some videos right here. If you enjoyed this video you just watched, video on the right and video on the left, and click on it.